If you're planning a trip to London, you're going to want a list of the top things to see and do while you're there. So grab a cup of tea and let's get right into my number one pick, visiting the Tower of London. That is a must-do. Here is where you'll see and feel history. This iconic site was founded in 1078 by William the Conqueror. It is home to the crown jewels, and you can tour the royal residences, the prison areas, and even the execution sites. Plan to spend at least 3 hours here, and make sure to book your tickets online to avoid standing in a long line. Even though we bought our tickets online, the queue was quite long, but it moves quickly. A big must-do is the Beef Eater tour. They will point out the important things to look at and give you a bit of context in a very entertaining way, so don't miss it. If you want more details of our visit there, check out my video. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below this video, or check out my channel for more videos on London. Alright, next at number 2 on my list is to explore the British Museum. You'll love the admission price. It's free. It is home to over 8 million works and is a bit overwhelming, so plan your visit or take a guided tour to get the most out of your time. By the way, this is a great thing to do on a rainy day, which London has plenty of. Make sure to check out the Rosetta Stone, the Parthenon sculptures, and the Egyptian mummies. One piece of advice, come early and on a weekday to avoid the crowds. This is a popular tourist destination for good reason. By the way, there's a long list of free museums in London, so you might want to consider other museums such as the Tate, the Science Museum, and the National Gallery, as well as a bunch of others that are also free. But those are good ones to start. The National Gallery, by the way, is located right by Trafalgar Square, another iconic place in London. So be sure to check that out if you have a chance, or a rainy day. Alright, next at number 3 is to watch the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace, which, by the way, can be cancelled on short notice if it's raining heavily, so plan this for a non-rainy day. No trip to London is complete without seeing this royal spectacle. It's an elaborate ceremony where the old guard hands over responsibility to the new guard, and generally it takes place at 11 o'clock in the morning, but check the schedule online in case there are changes. The best viewing spots are right outside Buckingham Palace or along the Mall. We took a free London walking tour which included watching the changing of the guard, so consider doing that if you want to make the most of your time. The tour guides know the best places to stand, and they'll make sure that you get there on time. And the tour we took was free. Can't beat that. Alright, let's move on to number 4. Take a Thames river cruise and combine it with a visit to Greenwich for a full day outing, or just do the river cruise by itself. There are many options for the river cruise. Some are short trips, some are full-day excursions, and some even include dinner or afternoon tea. Whichever cruise you choose, you'll be seeing all the famous landmarks from a different viewpoint from the river, and many cruises include live commentary. This is a great way to rest your feet after a walking tour. If you take the cruise to Greenwich, then you can literally spend a whole day there. There is really so much to do. Our favorite place to visit in Greenwich is the Royal Observatory, where you can stand on the Meridian Line, but there's also the Cutty Sark, the National Maritime Museum, and the Queen's House. Oh, and the Old Royal Navy College, and of course, much, much more. Alright, moving on to number 5, visit the Tower Bridge exhibition. This is also an iconic site. In fact, most everything in London seems to be iconic. The Tower Bridge is one of London's most recognizable landmarks, but it is often mistakenly called London Bridge. Not the same bridge. That's a different bridge. If you're not too tired after visiting the Tower of London, that was our number 1, then the Tower Bridge is a short walk from there, so you might want to plan to do it as a same-day activity. You'll learn about the bridge's history, its mechanics, and you'll even get a chance to visit the Victorian engine rooms. If you're not afraid of heights, then you'll be thrilled with the glass walkway, which is high above the Thames River, and the views from there are stunning. If you plan your visit with a bridge lift, then that will be the icing on the cake. But even without that experience, the Tower Bridge is well worth exploring. The Tower Bridge lifts around 800 times a year, and you can see the lift times at the Tower Bridge website. Okay, moving on to number 6. Well, if you're still here, then maybe you have some extra time to do a day trip from London. The one that I'd recommend is combining a visit to Windsor Castle, Stonehenge, and Bath. These are 3 must-visit places when in England, and there are many tour companies that will take you to all 3 in a single, very long day, but very well worth it. Or consider visiting Windsor Castle on its own. You can definitely spend many hours there with so much to see. There's the state apartments, the semi-state rooms, Queen Mary's dollhouse, St. George's Chapel, the moat room, the many, many treasures of the castle, and the changing of the guard. If you take a combined day trip, then you can see all 3 in one jam-packed day. You'll get about 2 hours to explore the castle on your own before having to head back to the bus, which we found to be a bit rushed, but good enough to get a taste and then onward to Stonehenge. That's a pretty quick visit, actually, but an awesome experience nonetheless. And then in Bath, you'll see, you guessed it, the Roman baths, but also Bath Abbey, and many other cultural sites, so many that the city is listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There are also many shops, restaurants, and cultural events, so you could spend an entire day here, but if you're on a tour like us, you'll again get about 2 hours to roam around. So that was a long number 6, but yes, consider a day trip out of London to visit some other iconic sites. Did I say iconic again? So now let's move on to number 7, and let's stay local and take a hop-on, hop-off bus around town. This is a great way to explore the city and get around. There are several companies that offer hop-on, hop-off experiences, some better than others, but all come with a map of the sites to see and stops near or at each of these sites. For example, the Big Bus Company offers a red route covering all of these sites and a blue route covering all of these for one price. You can sit back and enjoy the ride. Some of the buses have commentary, some recorded, some live, and you can get off and on at your pleasure. Some of the hop-on, hop-off bus companies, such as Golden Tours, offer a combo ticket. It's a bus ticket with a river cruise, so you might want to consider that as well. I did a full review of all the hop-on, hop-off bus options, so you might want to check out that video after you're done here. All right, on to number 8. Take in a show at the West End, which is London's answer to New York's Broadway. There's a wide range of shows, musicals, dramas, comedies, you name it. There are even some famous long-running shows like The Lion King or even Phantom of the Opera, which is still playing in London, though not in New York anymore. You can look for last-minute tickets at a TKTS booth in the district or book online. If you can go to a matinee performance, then of course you'll get better prices and there should be more availability. Also, check to see if you can take a backstage tour. Many theaters offer that, and if you love theater, you'll love that. All right, moving on to number 9. This one is a toss-up between the Sky Garden and the London Eye, or maybe the Shard. How about all 3? Let's call it 9A, 9B, and 9C. You're going to have to decide for yourself. Many people consider the London Eye a waste of money, and others think it's London's equivalent to the Eiffel Tower. On the other hand, the Shard is a little cheaper than the Eye. It is one of the most recognizable buildings in the world, so again, iconic. And there's an open-air sky deck with 360-degree views of London and beyond. On a clear day, you can see miles away. But then there's the Sky Garden, which is totally free. It's London's highest public garden and also offers 360-degree views of London with beautiful gardens, observation decks, and an open-air terrace as well. Although it's free, space is limited, so you must book your visit in advance. The Eye also gives you 360-degree panoramic views of London. One rotation takes about 30 minutes with views of many iconic landmarks. Did I say iconic again? From Big Ben to the Shard. The up and down part of the 30-minute rotation obviously doesn't give you the same awesome views as when you get to the top. And the price is a little cheaper, £29 if you buy ahead of time online rather than the day of. The Eye is located on the south bank of the Thames, so take the time to stroll along the south bank, to watch the street performers, and to check out the food markets. There is another great place to view London from a high point that I didn't mention yet. If you're willing to climb 311 steps up a spiral staircase, let's call this 9D. This place is the monument to the Great Fire of London, and it was built to commemorate the Great Fire of 1666, which lasted for 4 days and destroyed 2/3 of the city of London. This monument, built in 1671, offers some excellent views of London, as well as a bit of history. Tickets are first come, first serve. You cannot buy them online, and they are around £6 for an adult, so it should be within most tourists' budget. If the London Eye or the Shard are too expensive, then consider a visit to the monument. And last but not least, for number 10, how about a Jack the Ripper walking tour? There are a number of tour guides and companies that offer a tour, and the reviews on TripAdvisor are generally very positive. A Jack the Ripper tour is typically around 2 hours long, with lots of stops along the way, as the guide talks about the events from over 120 years ago. The tour usually includes entrance to the Jack the Ripper Museum. It covers the murders and investigations, and you'll walk in the footsteps of Jack the Ripper along the streets of East London, where many of Jack the Ripper's victims were found. Some of the tours offer something called Ripper Vision, which projects images on the dark streets and alleyways to make the tour more immersive. As with any tour, your experience is mostly determined by the quality of the tour guide. If they're good at what they do, then you'll enjoy this experience and you'll learn a bit of history along the way. And there you have it, my list of top 10 things to do in London. This list has something for everyone because London has something for everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more travel tips and destination guides. Until the next time, stay safe and happy travels.